Hello and welcome to the news update on AFRICUNIA television, reaching you live from the nation's commercial capital, Lagos, Nigeria. I am Deborah Ezeh. Many thanks for joining me on the news today. We begin with stories from the Nigerian scene. Presidential candidates of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, and his People's Democratic Party, PDP counterpart, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, were at each other's jugular yesterday over alleged divisive politics and threats to national harmony. Tinubu fired a salvo at Atiku Abubakar, saying the PDP flag bearer belongs to a dying breed of politicians who resort to ethnic and regional sentiment in their desperate bid to capture power. Atiku had at the weekend in Kaduna during an interactive section with Arewa Joint Committee allegedly said that Northerners needed someone of his stature and not a Yoruba or Igbo president. Head of new media at the APC Presidential Campaign Council, PCC, Chief Femi Fani-Kayode, in a statement, said Atiku's words were not only unacceptable, but also insulting, irresponsible, and despicable. Tinubu, in a separate statement by the Director, Media and Publicity of his campaign council, Mr. Bayo Onanuga, noted that Atiku's declaration to the effect that Northerners do not need a Yoruba or Igbo president was the worst expression of ethnocentric and opportunism ever uttered by a former Nigerian vice president. According to him, this clearly demonstrates how low a man honored with the second highest office of the Nigerian constitution is willing to sink in. Now, reacting to Tinubu's attack, the spokesperson for Atiku Abubakar Presidential Campaign Organization, Mr. Kola Ologbon Odion, said Tinubu best fits the allegation of the APC, PCC, and its standard bearers. Now, moving on, Nigeria's available power generation capacity fell by 981.8 megawatts between 2015 and August 2022. Despite the over 1.51 trillion naira intervention in the sector by the federal government since the current administration came on board in 2015. This came as the national grid collapsed 98 times under the regime of the President Major General Muhammad Buhari retired. A document on power generation trend 2013 to August 2022 obtained in Abuja from the Association of Power Generation Companies, the umbrella body of electricity producers, indicated that while available power generation capacity was 6,616.28 megawatts in 2015, it dropped to 5,634.47 megawatts as at August this year. It was also gathered that the total power generation capacity loss for the sector between 2015 and August 2022 rose to 1.76 trillion naira as operators and experts decried the sorry state of the industry since it was unbundled in November 2013. Meanwhile, data sourced from the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission indicated the country's power grid has been recording incessant partial and total collapse since 2015, despite the funds pumped into the sector. Figures from the Commission show the grid collapse cases in 2015 were 10. In 2016, it rose to 28, while 21 cases were recorded in 2017. The power sector regulator outlined the number of grid collapse cases in Nigeria in 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2021 as 13, 11, 4 and 4, respectively. Still in Nigeria, Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has urged President Muhammad Buhari to promptly set up a panel of inquiry to thoroughly, impartially, and transparently investigate operation of illegal pipelines from 2001 to date and widely published names behind economic sabotage. In the correspondence dated October 15, 2022, and signed by its Deputy Director, Kolawole Oluwadare, the group told the President to also ensure their prosecution by appropriate anti-corruption agencies. SERAP advised the Nigerian leader to equally authorize investigation into the destruction of an illegal oil vessel by security agencies, with a view to identifying and bringing the owners to justice. The petition followed recent discovery of 2 unlawful pipelines being used to siphon the country's crude from Forcado Terminal to 48-inch Trans-Forcado Export Trunk Line. The organization said poor and socioeconomically vulnerable Nigerians have continued to pay the price for illicit businesses apparently undertaken by both state and non-state actors. It reminded Buhari that its government has a legal obligation to ensure that the nation's oil wealth is used solely for the benefit of Nigerians. We go on a short break now, and when we come back, it's more updates from the African scene. Just stay with me. How to buy airtime from the AFRICUNIA Bank. Log into your AFRICUNIA Bank app, click on the 3 horizontal lines above the screen, then click on the dashboard. Then above the screen top is another 3 horizontal line. Click on it. Scroll down and click on Buy Mobile Airtime. You'll be directed to another page. Then select your country and enter your mobile number, then click on Submit. You'll be directed to a page where you select the amount of airtime you want, then directed to where you'll be asked to confirm your recharge details. Change your select wallet from USD to NGN if you're in Nigeria. Then click on Make Payment and your recharge is successful. And now welcome back. Angolan President João Lourenço delivered a speech before the National Assembly since his re-election, admitting to devoting all his strength and attention to the search for the best condition for the population. The speech comes a few weeks after his re-election for his second term. Angola, one of Africa's largest oil producers, is also grappling with higher public debt. Higher oil prices in 2020 have helped Angola reduce public debt to 56.5% of gross domestic product in 2022, down from 79.7% in 2021 and 123.8% in 2020. The return of popular movement for the liberation of Angola is back but has been met by opposition. And to some, the country needs to address pressing matters like education reform and other infrastructure. The formerly Marxist Popular Movement for the Liberation of Angola won a welfare-themed majority of 51.17% of the vote, handling President João Lourenço, the 68-year-old former general, the second term in office. Meanwhile, an aid worker was among 3 people killed during an airstrike on the town of Tigray in Ethiopia's northern Tigray region, the International Rescue Committee has said. The aid worker, who worked for IRC's health and nutrition team, died of injuries sustained while delivering assistance to women and children. Another IRC staff member was injured in the attack, while 2 other civilians were killed and 3 wounded. The attack took place in a region where the Ethiopian government and its Eritrean allies have been battling Tigray forces on and off for 2 years. Ethiopian government spokesperson Legesse Tulu, military spokesperson Colonel Getnet Adane, and the Prime Minister's spokesperson Billion Siyam did not immediately respond to requests for comments about the incident. Eritrean Gabriel Meskel and Getachew Reda, a spokesman for the Tigray forces, also did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Still on the African scene, the 5th edition of the YouthConnekt Summit ended in Kigali, Rwanda, after 3 days of conferences, masterclasses, and network sections. Now, thousands of young innovators and leaders from all across the world attended the event to discuss different ways to promote growth and advancement for the youth of the African continent. This year's summit was being held under the theme, Accelerating Investment in Youth, Resilient Africa. It brought together participants from 30 African countries to discuss and chart a way forward on how to involve the youth in Africa trade, health, climate resilience and financing, technology, skilling for the future, among other topics. According to findings by the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, 42% of young people in Africa do not have access to funding needed to run their businesses. The African Union 2063 agenda is the continent's framework which aims to deliver on goals for inclusive and sustainable development. And according to the AU, it is a manifestation of the Pan-African drive for unity, self-determination, freedom, progress, and collective prosperity. Up next, the top headlines making the rounds on the foreign scene. Just stay with me. And now welcome back onto the sports scene. Erik kept his counsel about the officiating after Manchester United failed to kill off Newcastle in a frustrating goalless draw. A packed Old Trafford witnessed a tense Premier League clash on Sunday afternoon, which started with Callum Wilson seeing a penalty appeal ignored. Joel Linton twice hit the woodwork during an impressive first half from Newcastle, but the hosts bounced back after the break and Cristiano Ronaldo quickly saw 2 goals ruled out. There was no argument about the first decision, but the Portugal forward was enraged by the second as he claimed Fabian had taken the free kick, meaning it was free to nip in to score before Nick Pope could react. Owe disagreed with that viewpoint and said it would have been very hard to swallow if it had not been disallowed, which was put to Ten Hag in the post-match press conference, as well as the Ronaldo decision. Jadon Sancho was among those to see second-half penalty appeals ignored, and Ten Hag spoke animatedly to referee Craig Paulson after the final whistle. And finally, the sports minister Sunday Dare is spearheading the campaign to get Nigerians to massively vote for the reigning world champion, Toby Amusan. Now, the 100 hurdle champion has become the first Nigerian to be crowned World Athlete of the Year. No Nigerian has ever been nominated for the award, and Amusan is thus the first to be shortlisted, and the 25-year-old will be aiming to scale the final hurdle and become the first Nigerian to be crowned Best of the Best. Dare said he has cast his vote for Amusan through the World Athletics social media platform and is now urging Nigerians to get on their smartphones to vote for the Nigerian history maker. The sports minister said Amusan has done her part and Nigerians now need to do theirs. And now that concludes the news update on AFRICUNIA television. Do follow all our social media platforms displaying on your screen to stay connected and updated to our news and other programs. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can also link us up on www.africunia.tv. Once again, I am Deborah Ezeh. Bye for now.